me that story about camping up and with the little fiddle-paddles. Was that the little...
Oh, I do. But my brothers
Yeah, that
went
one.
into, yeah. We pulled into a camp outside of Newmarket. A lot of travelling people would always pull in and out there anyhow. And my father's brothers were staying with us as well. And I had a good crowd, a good few brothers, like, and they were always up to mischief, of course, like in around the wood, picking nuts off the trees. And they were looking around for things, like, and down around the well. But they didn't know the well was haunted, like, the first time. They went in anyhow, and they took some of the little fairies, little tools onto the fairies, little small little hammers, little screwdrivers, and little pinchers and pliers and things like that belonged to them. But they took them anyhow, and they brought them out of our back of our wagon. There was a big press at the back of the wagon on the outside, and they put the little things into that. But that night then, when we went to bed, the wagon shook and shook for the fairies. My mother said, like, it was the fairies, she would have known, like, she know everything, like that. And the fairies shook our wagon the whole night through, shook it. And the rain come down and the storm come down. It was unbelievable over the fairies. And my mother said, Lord mercy her soul, because she was a very religious woman, pray, she said, pray for them, they'll go away, she said. Well, we were there for hours and hours anyhow, and all the elder ones was praying. And we started praying as well, like. And of course, about 5 o'clock in the morning, anyhow, when the sun would come out, they say if the sun comes out, and if the fairy was out around the place, it would melt, my mother would say. But if the sun wasn't, if there was darkness now, no, nothing would affect them, but the sun would make it melt all right. And of course, next day, anyhow, we were to move over to camp. And my father said, what my mother said, Lord mercy her soul, whatever you were taking in the fairies yesterday, she said, in around the wood, she said, please put it back now, she said, because I know well one of you took it. But to put them back anyhow, the little pieces of fiddle-paddles I had belonged to them, and put them back into the fort. And we were going to leave that day now, tell the truth, because we were all frightened and afraid. But when we put the things back then, we never heard no more then. But it was about the well then. If you go to the well after 12 o'clock in the night, there is a woman in the well, and they said the woman in the well is the witch. And she would pull you down into the well. And that was really true, because we heard it from the farmers and people who were living around. And down you go into the well, and you wouldn't, it was a drawn well, like, there was no bottom to it. And that was it about the well, like, next day we left in after that. We didn't kind of pull it back around there anymore, because we had an awful lot of other stories about it now and things like that. A lot of things would happen to my father's brothers and things. And like, if they left stuff outside in a box or anything like that now, the fairies come on at night time if they had any, say if they had a box now, they used to always keep boxes that time for their food, and they left their things into the box, bread or sugar or tea bags or to be tea that time, or maybe a bottle of milk for the morning. Well, the fairies would know where to have it and to take it and things like that. And sometimes then, they would leave you stuff. They would. Because when they know you wouldn't bother them and know you wouldn't go around them, they'll put back your milk and they'll put back your bread and your butter. But if you went around them or done anything, they would never. But one time ago, I said, it was all right, I'll tell you about a fairy, like how a fairy, I see a fairy myself. We were staying out by Donegal, and my father's brothers was out there, and I have a big crowd of brothers, anyhow, at that time as well. But we were staying alongside, out there, it's 2 Mile Forge, they call it, anyhow, it's off up by Donegal. And we were staying down for the fort, I'll never forget it. It was all humps and bumps on the ground. And my mother was gone into town anyhow. My brothers was playing on the road, they were playing with slates on the road, like kind of stones on the road. That's what they were playing with. They were playing with their uncle now, say. And they were there anyhow. And my mother, the night before that, last mercy of her soul, when the fire was quenched anyhow, she had the dinner over, and the fire was gone out, she'd always put the blade down the pot tight, and she put it in and ate the wagon, at the wheel of the wagon, the pot. But they were all playing out on the road anyhow with the stones anyhow. There was no one there washing out the wagon. I was washing out the floor, out along with a cloth, and I was washing down the steps of the wagon, I'll never forget it. And this little thing anyhow ran so fast. He ran in behind me like that when I was washing, and it was so small. He put up the lid like that, the lid of the pot. Up he did, and he went into the pot. And I called my brother, he's dead today now, Lord mercy, supposed to my brother Barney. I said, Barney, someone's after going into the pot. I said, it's a funny little thing. I said, it's like a little spud face. And I said, he's after going into the pot. I said, I'm afraid. I said, here. He said, wait a minute now. My brother went over anyway, he knew what it was. My brother said, hold the lid down like that for a minute. My brother lifted a small little look into the pot. He lifted the lid a small little bit and looked into the pot. And there he was, and he was inside in that pot. And my brother said, my brother said, I leave you, my brother, he'd make you laugh. I am not going to leave you out if you don't give me the wish of the money. If you don't give me the wish of the gold, I'm not leaving you out. But if you do give me the wish, I will leave you go. He said like that. He said, no. Oh yeah. He said, yes, I will. I'll give it to you. He said, my brother was too clever for you. He knew what he wanted to get away. My brother said, if I lift the lid of this pot now, he said, if you go, he said, that's it. He said, sure, I'm not granted any wish then, is I said to him. He said, let me out. No, he kept it there for a few minutes anyhow. He kept his hand down tight on top of the pot and kept the lid on the pot. And he said, no, not letting you go. He said, I'll hold it on to you for a while. He said like that. Because I want to show the rest of my brothers. And he said, please let me go. I'm going to smother in the pot, he said, with the lid in the pot. He said like that. Please let me go. And my brother said, all right, so he said, I'll let you go in one condition. He said, you grant me the wish, he said, of the money, he said. Are you going to grant me the wish, he said, the gold, he said. There was something else as well, I forget the other thing he said he wanted to make. But it was 3 wishes anyway I had to give him. He said, I'm lifting the lid off now slowly, he said, but I don't want you to run now, he said, you hear me? And he lifted up the lid slowly like that, and of course we took running like that, flying off like that. That was it.
You were saying on All Souls Night, what do you do on All Souls Night?
In All Souls Night now, I would have seen my mother doing it before now. She lives out water. Always and never live out a bowl of water. And she'd live it out, God help me, we're staying around the roads now. She'd live it out with the wheel of the wagon. And there was something about bread as well, they'd live out bread as well, wouldn't that? Because my mother used to say, the poor people is buried now and the people is in the grave. She said like that. Well, every one of them people after 12 o'clock tonight, she said, they're all out of the graves and they're all walking around the graves. And 'tis the people is living, she said, and things like that. Them was the people, they said like that, should be in the graves for a while. Don't you pass this off as a joke now, like, you know. They should be there for a while, like, lying there, see what it's about. And 'tis the people, the innocent people, I suppose, got killed years ago, they'd be out for a while and they'd be walking around. I heard it for a fact with me, I was a little girl, my grandmother told me that, and I'm 65 now, and I could be only about 5 or 6 years when I heard that from my grandmother, like, the things she would tell us, like, do you understand?
Were you afraid to walk outside on All Souls Night?
I would, my mother great courage, like, that's the only thing about it. I go out anywhere with her, but I wouldn't go out on my own, no.
Do you remember years ago getting your hair cut on Good Friday?
Yeah, my brothers would do it now, things like that. Always and never do it to the daughters. Very big long heads of hair to have now. And my husband would have done, I'm a widow woman now, my husband would have done it to my daughters when he was living after mercy soul.
And for anyone who doesn't know that, can you explain what would happen?
For the hair now, well, the same because it's a Good Friday, right? And to get the hair cut from the brothers or the father, the hair, God bless and save it, it won't fall out. And the hair will grow like so much inches, like every month. That's what they say now about it, like. But I really believe it, me. I do really believe it because my girls, like, have heads of hair down to here, like, God bless and save them, like. And I've nieces and nephews and whatever. Even my son, like, a big long head of hair down his back, like. Of course, he'd live a grow, like. Do you understand? There's a lot of them out there today now, make the boys, and they want to let their hair grow, don't you? I says to my fella, you let it grow for the winter to keep the heat off your head.
You were telling me about on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, your brothers would...
Oh, the money you make, yeah, that's right. When New Year's Eve come in, say New Year's night, and just after 12 o'clock when the bells ring, and my brothers and me and all the family, we would swap over. We could give 20 pence, we could give a pound, we could give 50 pence, we might get a fiver, and it's just like, we all swap over money, like, that one outside, like, do you understand what I'm saying to you? And it's just, it's the normal thing, like, the travelling people done, but they still do it here today, like, you understand what I'm saying to you? And then I had an uncle, like, And he would say now, like, if it was in a holy well, right? And it was a holy picture in that well, he wanted the well that day to kiss that holy picture and bless himself with that holy picture. And if he was chatting to travelling people and he forgot all about it, if it was 20 miles away, when he'd go home, he'd go back to that well and he'd kiss that holy picture and that well and he'd put his hand in and bless himself with the well. And that is the gospel truth. And people were saying like, oh, he's Pisharogri. Do you understand? But I have another son now, my youngest son now, he's 40 years. There's not a picture, or there's not a statue, or a crucifix inside in the house that he don't go around to. Every one of them, because in every one of the rooms that have all statues and all different pictures or whatever, but he would go to every one of them a couple of times a day, and he would bless himself with them. Yeah. He just took it up for my father's people, like, do you understand what I'm saying, John? And then, like, after we were going away in the car now or anything like that, there's another one. We'll always throw holy water after them. We blessed the car, and I would sometimes, like, if he wasn't looking, like, I used to always put holy medals into his pocket. And I'll never forget it. He was going into the shower at some stage, and he was picking off his coat, throwing it there, and he was putting on different clothes. He said to me, "Here, Mommy, wash that coat for me." And I said, "What's all that?" He put his hand in, and he'd find a whole load of medals and relics in his coat. Oh God, the night of the day. I said, "No, Martin." But in another way, it is really true. Like, it do save them, because I tell you, he had a few accidents down through the years. And thanks be to God, and he's blessed them all. Some of them now with serious accidents, and every one of them, thank God, he come out perfect. He did. He come out perfect for them. That's the truth. It's unbelievable, Mick, the miracles that I got down through the years. Like, I had breast cancer. I got 2 knees. I had an aneurysm in my brain. And I got that coiled. I nearly died with the aneurysm. No, son, I didn't, because I did. And I got cured from that. I got cured from the cancer. And I got cured. I had 2 knee replacements. And I got cured from them. And I'm arthritis now, but like that, as long as I want to keep going, because I don't care that truth. And Jesus is up there, and Our Lady in His help. We thank Him. We thank you very much as well for coming on. And for taking all our stories. You must be fed up for our stories out of stage.